Hey guys, Keegz here, and today I'm going to be talking about my experience on Scary Movie 6. This isn't really a review of the movie. If you want to know my thoughts, check out my Letterboxd account. But for this video, it is more about my experience being involved as a background actor on the project. Background acting is more of a side gig. I do it to help pay the bills. But I've been involved in a lot of incredible projects. And for that, let's get started. 3, 2, 1, let's go! Our story begins when I was looking for some background acting in the area. I just moved into a new house and I thought it would be great to find some work to help pay the bills. Hylton Casting was looking for some background actors on a project called Scary Movie 6. They were looking for some actors in a scene involving an amusement park. They were looking for amusement park goers standing in line all day. Wasn't sure what the ride was, but going into this I was very prepared to know what it was going to be since, well, this is a scary movie. So I applied for that role and I got called back. Day 1 of Scary Movie 6 started with standing in line all day. I was standing in line all day in an amusement park ride called Final Destination. I was prepared to get myself into some scary movie humor. This was the first scary movie that features the return of the Wayans brothers since their departure with Scary Movie 2. Scary Movie 3 and 4, they weren't involved due to conflicts with Mr. Weinstein. But then they decided to return with Scary Movie 6. I was standing in line at the Final Destination ride, talking to some other background extras, sharing our experience in other projects that we were involved in. Networking. That's usually one thing I love doing as a background actor, is networking with other people. It helps me keep in touch with others in the industry to see who is looking for certain people for their projects. Also, you get some free food. That's another thing. You know, you can't miss out on the free food. I love seeing how the production of these films go, especially with the scene I was in with Final Destination the Ride. If you've seen the opening scene of Scary Movie 6, you know what I'm talking about, where one of the main characters is popping some pills and then you see a stack of pills behind that character. Those were actual props, it wasn't CGI. Then there was moments where Ghostface comes up and attacks our protagonist of the film, and it was the boyfriend, but it was just a prank. And I saw a little boy walk around with nice clothes, and I know for a fact, since I've seen a scene like this in one of the scary movies, I knew this kid was going to get injured to death. Majority of that first day was just me standing in line all day. I know there was probably a mom and her kid that were kind of complaining about being on set overtime, especially for child actors. Child actors are usually on set shorter days than other main background actors. Let's move on to the next day of Scary Movie 6, which is the Halloween party scene. Now this is the true beginnings of my involvement with Scary Movie 6, the Halloween party scene. This is the most iconic scene in the entire film. It's the climax of the film. It's the moment where shit goes down. It's where the parodies start going out of control. It was definitely the best moment I ever had as a background actor. Going into the next filming scene of Scary Movie 6, I was brought into Taylormade Studios, which was about a 30-minute drive from my house. The Halloween party scene in the trailer, yep, that was the scene I was in throughout the entire movie. That was probably about 3 to 4 days of filming. The first day of going into that scene was a little bit chaotic at first, well, getting into the studio, because when I was arriving at the front gates at Taylormade Studios on that day, I couldn't find my ID. Where's my ID? Where is it? So for that to occur, it was exhausting because I thought I wasn't going to get on set of Scary Movie 6. Luckily, I was able to find my ID. It was just crammed behind my wallet. I was able to get in. Success! Going into the gate, I was told to go into the check-in room. After that, I just was sitting around checking in to see when they were going to call us on set. We were in a tent. I was chit-chatting with some of the other background actors, checking in to see where they were from. Then they told us to go into the main studio, Studio 2, I think, at Taylormade, where they told us to go into the waiting bay at the studios, which was filled up with a bunch of chairs. It was our booking area where we were told to hang out and wait until we were told to get on set of that scene. So we were in a dark room. We were waiting, and then our good old pal Liam showed up and told us what the scene was going to be. He gave us a brief breakdown of the scene that we were going to do. It was a scene involving Regina Hall, passing around Jello shots. We were told to be party goers in Halloween costumes. My Halloween costume was the serial killer. That was the costume I was wearing on the fitting day before I was told to get in. And apparently it was the most popular costume. I was getting a lot of compliments of my serial killer costume. I was just told to wear a t-shirt that said serial killer, jeans, some black shoes, and they didn't really care what I did with my hair or makeup. The only thing that they did was put a bunch of cereal boxes around my body with knives inside those mini cereal boxes. There was a bunch of knockoff brands of iconic cereal IPs, but going into that set was a fun experience because we were walking into a house within a studio, which was pretty sick. They literally just built a house inside of a studio. We were in that house the entire day. They told us to go into our areas, to go and party and to walk around. We had PAs navigating where we were supposed to walk or do during these scenes. Then we saw Regina Hall, and then we ended up seeing the Wayans brothers come in. The scene we saw was Regina Hall walking around with Jello shots. We were told to pick up the Jello shots from Regina Hall. Then there were some lines where Regina Hall's character went up to one of the Wayans brothers, Sean, to talk to him about his gay cowboy outfit. It was supposed to make fun of Brokeback Mountain. Then we saw Shorty come in smoking a doobie. Then we ended up seeing them do some improvised lines. It was kind of cool seeing how the cameras were being set up, how they kept moving the equipment around to make these different angle shots. We were told to do the same thing consistently 10 to 12 times. I'm not sure. I mean, it's not as much as Stanley Kubrick's takes. I love the experience of being on set and interacting with all these other background actors and PAs and working with these great people. It was awesome to see Lance, who was the other PA involved in Scary Movie 6, be a really great coach of navigating us in the scenes that we were supposed to be in. I thought he did a fantastic job as a lead PA. After the whole Jello shot passing around scene, they decided to do a scene where Regina Hall's character, who is supposed to be based on Octavius's character from Ma. They're making fun of the scene from Ma, and then they want to do another scene where Regina Hall's character is taking shots with us party goers, the other background actors like us. And we were just like cheering around her, being like, whoa, yeah, let's go, take another shot. They told us that continuity doesn't matter in this Scary Movie universe. After that moment, she ended up doing some kung fu fighting moments where she starts kicking cans, she starts beating the shit out of us, and then we're all dead on the floor. It is a really funny scene that unfortunately isn't in the final cut. I wish it was, because it was definitely one of the best scenes we did, and it was a whole day of filming. That whole scene was just the kung fu fighting scenes. I ended up listening to that theme song in my head overnight. That was wrapping it up on the first day of the Halloween party scene. Then we're going into day 2 of the Halloween party scene, which is similar to the first day where we did the kung fu fighting scene. We had Regina Hall's stunt performer do some stunt performance. We had a stunt guy just getting flung into a wall of glass, none of which made it to the final cut of the film. And then we ended up doing some scenes where the Wayans brothers were streaming on Dead by Daylight. If anyone's ever played the Dead by Daylight games, they know what I'm talking about. Shorty's character, played by Marlon Wayne, streaming on the PlayStation 5 on Dead by Daylight with other streamers, which one of the streamers, by the way, I'm going to give a shout out, was JJ Fields. I want to give a shout out to my pal JJ Fields. He was one of the only background actors that ended up getting credit on Scary Movie 6 and his IMDb. This was the scene where I noticed that one of the PAs was a Wayans brother. It started when we were talking about one of Marlon Wayne's newest films, Him. He was talking shit about his dad's film, saying it wasn't as good as he thought it was, and I overheard it, and it just made me realize that, wait a minute, he's talking about his dad's film that was Him? There's no way he can't be a Wayans. It was awesome networking with him. He was a great guy, and I really enjoyed talking to a Wayans brothers involved in this project. He did a great job navigating all the other PAs around, telling us to go to this direction, go to that direction, and pretend you're crossfaded in this moment and scene. There is one thing I want to say inside the house, is that the whole house is just Shorty's shrine. There's like jars of weed, huge frame of Shorty doing the "What's up?" It was pretty dope to see all of the prop team do a great job setting everything up in that scene. There was a shootout too during that scene. I think that was what was going on during day 2 and 3 of the Tyler Perry Studios scenes I was involved in, where one of the characters ended up pulling a gun out and ended up shooting one of the other characters, and we ended up running outside of the house. That was probably one of the last few things we did during that moment. We ended up doing some pickup shots of some of the scenes we did before. I think the third day of being involved with Scary Movie 6 was just a day where we were just at booking. I think this was when the Wayans brothers were trying to figure out how they were going to construct these scenes. During the third day of Scary Movie 6, the second half we were just hanging around Tyler Perry Studios. I was getting to know more about the background actors I was working with on this project. They were great people to get involved with. They basically wrapped us up early that day. We knew we were going to get called back in on Halloween Day. That was going to be our final day, or one of the final days of Scary Movie 6. So I knew what I was going to do on Halloween on that day, and it was going to be quite a fun experience going into it because we decided to have an early wrap party of Scary Movie 6, at least for the background actors, but it was a blast hanging out with them. After that, I got a call saying that my booking was canceled. And it seems that a lot of other background actors were getting canceled, cutting costs on the amount of background actors they needed on that day. And the scene they were filming at was an outdoor scene, and it was a lot closer from my house than the Tyler Perry Studios, so I was curious into why they were cutting some people out. And from one of the PAs I was talking to, he said they were doing it due to cost cutting. They were trying to shorten the film's runtime, just because a lot of comedy films are usually short on runtimes. I don't think there's ever been a rare moment where a comedy film has been going over 2 hours. If there is a bunch of comedy movies that are over 2 hours, just let me know in the comments. But for the Scary Movie franchise, I don't think there's ever been one that has overwent 2 hours. The majority of them have always been about an hour and 20 or an hour and 30 minute of runtime. That was my last involvement with Scary Movie 6. That was a fun experience. Met a lot of great background actors, networked with them. I still keep in touch with them to this day. I end up seeing them on other projects. We ended up going to the premiere of Scary Movie 6 together, at least some of us that were living in the Atlanta area at that time. This video is mainly talking about what it's like working as a background actor in these big name projects, especially the casting agencies that you want to network with, like Hylton Casting, Casting Taylormade. There's also Locke Casting, and there's Central Casting. Those are the ones I usually keep in touch if they're looking for people. Keep applying and keep networking, keep in touch, keep moving forward. Thank you for checking out this video. If you want to see more videos of my experience as a background actor, leave a comment below and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.